Alright everyone, welcome back to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video with Fat Phil, and we're going to be going through the Ahsoka event for the first time today. So her event is now active in the game. I want to kind of show what's required, kind of what we need to do to get through there. So again, really appreciate you guys just continuing to support this channel for everything. You guys are the best subscribers in the world, and I could not do it without you. Want to give a quick shout to our channel members. Again, if you're ever interested, link is below. But the most important thing, guys, honestly, is just joining the Discord, subscribing, passing this along to everybody, spread the word. That is how this channel grows the best. I really appreciate it. Continue, guys, just really, I know I don't always get to be as active as I want, whether it's streaming or videos, but I appreciate everything, the kind words nonetheless. So thank you all. Let's get in here and let's show the Ahsoka event for the first time. Alright, so we're going to start off in the first tier. Now, again, this is going to be a little bit silly because, I have a Relic 8 Sabine as is, but it is what it is. I'm going to assume that this event will be pretty simple from the looks of it if you have a decently geared Sabine, so we're just going to speed through that. Unfortunately, this is not going to help a ton of people, but, I have a feeling that the Ezra that we get will be probably sufficient enough that you should be able to do relatively well in this event. So we just kind of wait through all this stuff. I think it's going to be without, I'm looking at that Ezra, man, and I think it's going to be pretty easy to get this done. Just kind of get your turns out of the way, and it'll be easy. So there's phase one. Again, nothing special going to be going on there because it is what it is. And there are refreshes here. That's actually not a, 500 crystals for that. All right, next we're going into the next tier. So now you actually have a Relic Ezra Bridger. So notice here in this first tier, it was about a Gear 8 Ezra. So I'd say Gear 8, Gear 9 Ezra. So if you have a similar Gear Sabine, that should be fine. The Ezra here is at Relic levels with all of his Zetas. So I would assume you want a similar type of Sabine where maybe she's not Relic 7, but at least at Relic levels to get this done. And yeah, there's my Relic 8 Sabine. So this is definitely going to be a little bit more challenging of a mission to do. Not that it's impossible, but you will definitely want to have some measure of, investment in Sabine. And there you go. Oh, it's only one wave of that, so that's even simpler. There we go. Got Hu Yang shards. And I got 15. All right, so here, the Piece de Resistance, Relic 9 Ahsoka. And notice here, this is what a lot of us were waiting for. This will change. This can change some things that we will talk about. It is only Relic 9 Ahsoka that you are allowed to bring. So it is a singular Relic 9 investment here. Just Relic 9 Ahsoka going in 1v1 versus Morgan. We're going to lead off with an armor shred. And then we'll do a basic there. And then we'll taunt back up. This is probably going to be pretty similar to the ultimate tier. Except this already seems way, okay. This is a joke. This is going to be a big joke. We could probably just press auto and this will work. In fact, that's probably what you should do to save yourself some of the headache, because it's probably just going to be one of these events where you're just kind of waiting the whole time. Yep, there's some dodges. Just go through, and there we go. Yep, all right. Very simple. No problems. There's not a strategy here. Just have a Relic 9 Ahsoka, and I got Gerda keypads and impulse detectors. So no droid brains for me, but I did get impulse detectors, which is, again, somewhat nice. I'd rather get, obviously, the other stuff. And the refresh here is 1,500 crystals. That is a change. So that is a significant refresh here. Now, I'm glad that this came up because I was curious on the refresh. So I do want to kind of take some, when you look at that and you think about, okay, is that worth 1,500 crystals for this refresh? We're going to kind of do a little bit of Egnards here, and we're going to do some math. So I'm going to pull up my handy dandy calculator. Let's pull up the calculator. All right, let's get the calculator up because I do want to kind of show a little bit of the math here. So there's the calculator. The signal data. Our white signal data is the cheapest at 15 crystals per piece, right? So if I did 25, whoops, number lock, 25 times 15, I'd get 375 crystals worth of signal data there. If you get the green signal data, I believe green signal data is valued at 20 crystals per piece. So we're looking at 20 times 20, which is 400. And then finally, the blue signal data is valued at 30 crystals, so 450. So from a signal data perspective, the bare minimum is 375 with a maximum of 450 crystals. Then we look at your droid brains or Gerda keypads. So there, if we go to shipments and we look at those here, so 5 Gerda keypads would be 1250 crystals, and your droid brains would be 1500. So you figure we got our 450 there, and then we've got 1250, or we've got 1500. And again, we're just keeping stuff over here so we can kind of scroll through at leisure. Then you're going to get the chance to, well, client restart, there we go. Then we're going to get 10 impulse detectors, Zimbalist cards, or arrow magnifiers. So we'll add that to our analysis over here and then kind of come up with, hey, is this really worth the crystal refresh? As you guys can see, it's probably already looking likely that this is going to be a smart refresh to do based on the current crystal economy, because I do think that that is a big deal. But we'll kind of, again, I want to make sure I give you guys the best opportunity, best information possible on, is this event really worth it? So we'll go in here and we'll come back, and your possible rewards then again, 10, 10, or 10. So if we take each of those things in groups of 10, go down to our relics. So 10 Zimbalist cards is 1400, 10 impulse detectors is 1800, and 10 arrow magnifiers is 2500 crystals. So if you do this refresh and you get arrow magnifiers, you're making out like a bandit, right? That's going to be your best drop in terms of crystals. So again, we are going to do that refresh because I 100% believe that is a really, really strong value. And there we got droid brains this time, we got impulse detectors, and we got our signal data. So if we take those at the shipment value, I got 400 crystals worth, and then droid brains are 1250, and then impulse detectors are 1800. So there I got 3450 crystals at shipment cost. That's a very good deal. That's a very good bargain in my opinion for that. Well worth it to do the refresh. So again, very simple. I can tell you now with confidence, having seen this event, it only requires GL Ahsoka at Relic 9. No additional investments, no need for Ezra Bridger or anyone else at that Relic level. This is probably going to be the best event in the game. Also, look, it is going to be running for 2 days, it looks like. I don't know if that is actually a thing, but it looks like it's going to be running for 2 days. So we'll have to wait and see if that gets pushed out or not. I don't think that is what they had said, but who knows? Either way, really good event here. Very pleased with that. And much better refresh, in my opinion, than Peridia Patrol or Duel of the Fates because of how much is how much is available in that final tier with that signal data. That combination of all that stuff is really, really good. I gotta say, that is a just extremely solid purchase there. I really like that. So far, really love this event. Thank you, CG, again. That was really, really good. Again, guys, like, subscribe, comment down below. Love to hear your thoughts, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers, my friends.